Hello, hello everybody, and welcome to Crafty hour number 62. 62. So we are going to be crafting along, I was looking for the cover on this, with this fabulous kit from Paper Rose. And it is called, this guy right here. Rustic Spring Quick Card Collections from Paper Rose. I love the Paper Rose quick cards because well, they're quick and they have everything you need in there. They kind of have the pre-designed 6x8s for you, and gosh, they just make it so simple and so easy to complete cards. So we've used these in a couple crafty hours, and we hope you guys really enjoy them. And they have tons of extra add-ons that always match these collections. And some months they add different stuff like rub-ons and ticket tags and punch-outs and cut-aparts, 6x6s, 12x12s. So there's always other pieces that coordinate and match these lines, which are really nice and stunning. And then the quick card collection, as you know, in the pattern papers, this is the only way to get these papers, but they're 6x8 and they're already kind of pre-layered for you a little bit. So it makes quick, easy cards that you can just use the card, which is what I'm going to show you on this one. This is a quick, easy card. It's basically just adding a layer, popping the embellishment, and you're done. So this makes quick, easy cards, or like our other cards, you can cut these apart and use them in different pieces, and they are stunning. So the A sides kind of have your 2-part, 3 parts, and then your B sides kind of, ooh, look at that wood. Your B sides kind of have more of your solids or the colors that you can use for matting. And then of course, you can always add your mirrors, your glitters to those to kind of do your layering and your cutting. Deanna used the Miri cardstock called Soft Blueberry, which was very nice and pretty. I used some glitter cardstocks that were called Light Green and Bronze, which I thought was really nice. If you don't have any of those, that's okay. Gold looks really good with it, and silver looked really good too. So any of those cardstocks, if you have, are going to look stunning with them to kind of add those layers. So what we're going to do is kind of 2 fun interactive cards. I love these kits. I love the circles because that means I get to get my nesting dies out and play with my nesting dies. So this one is going to be kind of a little fun peekaboo window fun fold. You could totally turn this into a shaker also if you guys want to do some shakers. You could totally do that. And then we've got this one that's going to do a fun kind of flip up and then have your card in there. And then this one is just a wham bam, thank you ma'am, a quick easy one where we just mat the paper, add your embelly, and that's it for quick easy cards. So we're going to kind of start with the complicated one. That way we don't run out of time, and then we'll work our way. And if we don't make it to the quick easy one, then well, it's quick and easy. You guys can do it. So fun stuff there. Fun stuff. Thank you. Hello, Deanna. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. In my supply list, I just said grab nesting dies. Nesting dies are amazing because they are tools that you can use over and over and over again. And with the tools, the ones I used, this is just a straight circle. This is from Spellbinders. This is one of their originals. Our baby scallop that we had from Tonic. And then our baby stitched scallop that we also have for Tonic. We had that. Awful time seeing your cards. Your light. You mean it's too bright? I can make it darker. We'll try darker. On those. So that's what I just pulled out was my nesting dies. If you guys have different nesting dies, you can pull those out. Okay, we'll see if that works. I turned the light down on that. Now I feel like I'm working in a black hole. We'll see what works. Okay, so card number 1. Card number 1, I always do my sloppy copies. So this is my sloppy copy. I just make it out of scrap paper that I have. So if I want to go back and make this card again, I've got that so I can do it again. So what we're going to start with is your white cardstocks. So for this one, I did give you guys just a little bit of homework, not a whole lot. And your homework was to grab a white piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Betty, it must be your computer then, or your connection. Try going out and coming back in, because mine is not blurry and mine is very bold. So maybe try going out and coming back in. My screen looks fine. Okay, so here's your 8.5 by 11. 8.5, then I'm going to turn my thing back up. 8.5 by 11. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut the base. So we're going to cut it 8.5 by 5.5. 8.5 by 5.5. Let me grab my trimmer. This is the Spellbinders trimmer. I absolutely love this trimmer. I'm going to tell you, if you've ever been thinking about grabbing this trimmer, grab it now. It's going to get hit with the tariffs and the price is going up. So if you ever wanted one of these Spellbinders trimmers, grab it now. It is an amazing trimmer. They're super affordable right now. So let Deanna or I know, and let your home store know, and we will get those on order for you. We have to have our orders in by the end of the month. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You're going to sit it in your trimmer so it is wider than it is tall. Okay, and you're going to cut it. So basically, it's the same way as when we start doing a regular card. Sit this guy to the side. We will have him later to use. So here's your standard base. It is 8.5 by 5.5. And we're going to score it in half, just like a regular card base, at 4 1/4. 4 1/4. So nothing complicated. We're just making a regular A2 card right now. Regular A2 card. I told Coco it is quiet hour. Evidently, she doesn't understand what quiet hour means. Okay, so that's our first piece. That second white piece that I told you to have, this is going to be our inside piece. Okay, so our inside. So we're going to cut it 5 1/4 by 8. So you have your original piece. So what we're going to have to do is chop a little off this side, a little off this side. Okay, so 5 1/4 by 8. So you're going to put it in your trimmer. So it is taller than it is wide, and we're going to cut it at 5 1/4. So what we're doing is just shaving a little hair off. Just shaving a little hair. Okay, so that is 5 1/4. I'm getting ready to throw the children and the husband outside. Then we're going to flip it and cut it at 8 inches. Okay, we're going to flip it and cut it at 8. So again, just cutting off this little thing. You don't need that. You can throw it to the side. Okay, now we need to score it twice. So make sure your cutter blade's at the top. Get him out of the way. Put him in his little parking spot. And we're going to score it at 4 inches. Oh, good. I'm glad it's better for you, Betty. We're going to score it at 4 inches. And then we're going to scoochie it over to 6 inches. Okay? So basically what we've done is we've made a smaller card, and we're scoring it at 4, and we're scoring it at 6. And what it's going to be is this piece right here, our little fun interactive piece right there. Okay? So let me get the trimmer out of the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold it over. So we're folding it in half. And then we're just going to back fold this. So kind of like a little Z fold. So you should end up with something that looks like that. Kind of like a stair-step card, but it's not a stair-step card. Okay, so we're going to end up with something that looks just like that. Are we good? Everybody got that? Now, we're not going to glue anything yet. I'm actually going to try a different order for this than what I did originally, because I think I'm going to try to simplify it, but it might complicate it. But we'll figure it out together. We will figure it out together. Okay, we are going to set those pieces to the side. And we're going to look for a pattern paper that has the little frames on it. This one right here. I thought this one was very precious. Very precious. So we want to keep kind of this portion right here because this is going to go on the back side. So we're just going to kind of center it a little bit. And I'm just making sure I have that in there. So this piece here, and I never trust myself. So I always measure and make sure what we're doing. Yeah. So in your homework, I had you have a green piece of paper that was 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That was your homework. So there's that piece right there. That was your homework. Now we're going to cut our next piece, which is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. So we're going to keep it so your pattern is right side up. Pattern is right side up, and we're going to slice it at 4. Okay, slice it at 4 inches. Then we're going to flip it, and it doesn't matter how you flip it. Doesn't matter. And we're going to cut it at 5 1/4. 5 1/4. Okay, I'm going to slice that. And once you have those pieces, those are going to mat right on top of each other. Like I said, if you don't have green glitter, you can use green Miri, you can use gold, you can use whatever color you want. But that is our piece right there. Okay? Now what we need to do is cut our window. I'm going to try it different this time. We might go south. We'll figure this out together. But originally when I cut my window, and then I was like, ooh, I got to line that back up. And I tried to line it up, and you know, things just don't always line back up like they're supposed to. So we're going to try something different. And maybe you guys have a trick to it that works. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of repositionable adhesive onto my pattern paper, and I'm going to mat it on there. And I'm going to hold it. And then I'm going to take my card. I'm going to open my card. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to cut through all these at once. I doubt it will cut through all of them at once. But it will at least make an impression. So I know where my circle needs to be. Okay? I know where my circle is. So what I'm using is a straight circle. And I'm making sure I'm using the right ones. Yeah. So this is just a straight circle. And it is 3 1/4. 3 1/4. And when you're doing this, make sure your card is open. Otherwise, you will punch a hole all the way through the back side, and we don't want to do that. Trust me, I've done a lot of bloopers before. I've done bloopers. Okay, so we're going to try to go through all of them. I don't think it'll go through all of them. But we're going to kind of put it on, and I kind of pushed it up towards the top just a little bit more than the bottom. And then, of course, my magnet is grabbing it and putting it in different spots. Don't you love it when it does that? Okay, there we go. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. We're going to crank her through and see how many layers she goes through. And it might be a little tight. Oh, not too bad. Because I have 3 layers of paper in there. Okay, so let's see how we did. Oh, we got that one. We got one. Okay, it didn't go all the way through, but I didn't think it would because of the glitter paper. But I can see where my circle is supposed to go. So I'm going to put it right there in that little groove. If you move it, you'll feel it catch in that little groove. So we are lined back up, and we're just going to keep working through until we get through all of those layers. So I just put the repositionable adhesive on there just to kind of hold it. And you can do this with any shape. You can do it with a circle. You can do it with a square. You can do it with a rectangle. You can Sam I Am. All of that fun. Okay, so there is Okay, this way was much better than the way I did it in the first place. Let me tell you. So now we can glue these pieces down. Now we can glue them down. So I'm just going to kind of lift it and sneaky my adhesive under there because get the glue booger off. It's already lined up. And it only had repositionable adhesive on there before, so that's not really going to hold it. And hopefully you guys are following and crafting along and this is making sense. I don't see any comments, so hopefully it means you guys are crafting and not that Facebook is acting up again. Okay. And don't forget, if you guys miss a crafty hour, we record all of them, and then we are both working on uploading them to our YouTube channels. That way they are easier for you guys to find. Because I know sometimes we do daily lives and we have lots of daily posts and activities. We both have very active Facebook pages, so sometimes some of the live feeds can get lost, and then you know it's deleting after 30 days. So by going to our YouTube channel, you'll always be able to find the crafty hours over there. Oh yes, Georgine is crafting along. Awesome. Okay, there's our circles. Isn't that cute? Our circle is 3 1/4. 3 1/4. I basically, what I did is I took, oh, hey, I didn't grab any of the embellishments. Let me grab those really quick. What I basically did is I took my circle and I knew I wanted it to fit in the window, so I just found a die that was a hair bigger. So it kind of opened and closed really nice. So you just need, and if you don't have a circle, you can do a scallop. I did a circle and then I ended up adding the scallop border to it later because I felt like it needed a little something something. Okay, so there's our card. We just got our standard card here. We're going to close it. It's our standard card. But now what we're going to do is we're going to grab this piece. So remember this little guy? He is going to go right in here. And when we put him in here, you're going to notice, and I know it's white on white, so it might be a little hard to see, but you are going to have white edge all the way around it. We're not going all the way to the edge of the card. It's pretty much matting itself inside. And you're going to put glue on the back side of this one right here. Okay? I'm just going to grab a runner for that. Quick and easy. And you're going to just mat that in so it's perfectly centered. And you're going to have a little bit of white on the sides all the way around it. So now you've got something that looks like this. Okay? So this will close down, and then this closes down, and it kind of hides it inside your card. Okay, so with it closed down, now what you're going to do, we're not going to do that yet. Hold on. You'll see that we have a little piece that goes in here. So now we have to do the inside portion, the inside. So for your homework, I had you cut 2 pieces of green glitter that was 1 7/8 by 5 1/8. So those were your homework on those. Okay. So then we're just going to mat those on these 2, this mountain that we have, you're going to put one on each side of that. And that was your homework. And the great thing about the crafty hours is if you guys can't make them live, You can always catch them on replay, or you can watch them live and then go back and get them on replay and craft along. And now I understand, after going to Seattle and taking a class with Sizzix, my project went south, and Deanna can contest for this. My mixed media project went south, and then I tried fixing it, and it got worse and worse and worse. So now I realize why some of you guys watch first and then go back and do it. So my project needs a whole lot of gesso. I got to go back and retry it. But now I know why you guys watch and then craft for those south moments. Okay, then we're going to grab this piece out. So this is the piece that we had cut off. This is going to match and coordinate. So that matches and coordinates. And we're going to put that on the inside, right here on the green. So we're going to cut 2 strips that are 1 3/4 by 5. Okay? So I'm going to put it in here first, sideways. And it doesn't matter which end you're cutting out, the top or the bottom, doesn't matter. We're going to cut it at 5 inches first. So we're putting her in sideways, and we're going to cut it at 5. Okay? This little piece, we're not using anything, so you can chuck it for the moment. Then we're going to flip it, and we're going to do 2 pieces that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Deanna says she saw very few that look like the instructors. I mean, the instructor is a professional artist and a professional painter, and we just fake it with stamps and stencils. She had us free-handing too many things. I just was not good at the free-handing. Mine was not happy little clouds and happy little trees. They were angry. Okay, so that piece that we cut is going to fit right inside of these 2 green pieces we just did. Those are going to fit perfectly in there. Maybe it wasn't us. I don't know. Maybe they should have been serving drinks during that class, and we could have loosened up a little bit more and were able to paint happy mountains and happy trees. Okay, so then we're going to put that piece on. So now we've got our 2 little pattern papers that match the outside, and then the green. Deanna's mom said it looked very nice, so guess what she's getting for Christmas? She's getting my canvas. Okay, when you close it up, here's what you get. Here's what you get, okay? So we're going to close it up. Now what we need to do is we need to put this circle on here, but we have to make sure the circle is centered, okay? So the easiest way to do that is to close our piece down, and we're going to grab our green circle. So remember we had this because we just cut it out of the center of the other. And we're going to put adhesive just right here. So kind of on a half moon. Half moon. And I'm just going to use my runner. That way I don't accidentally get some liquid where I don't want some liquid. We're going to sit that. I know, that's what moms are supposed to say. She was very supportive, but we knew she was lying. And then we're going to glue that on, and then now it's stuck. So then you can pull your circle out. So that way you've got it in the proper position. That's the easiest way to do it. The green glitter paper I'm using is the Find It Trading the Card Deco Essentials. It's called light green. So it's like that shimmer sand, so it doesn't shed. It's that really, really fine glitter. So that's what I'm using. It's the Card Deco Essentials glitter paper in light green. And I know both of our stores carry that. Okay, So once we have that on, then we're going to pick out a flower. You guys are going to use that flower right there. You're going to use that flower. I'm going to use a different flower because I know Deanna used this one. So you guys use the cluster. I'm going to use the other flowers that match it. And we're just going to glue that down flat. Okay? Just glue that down flat. Okay. So you guys are using the little cluster. I used a little different one. Okay, that's what we should have so far. So the next thing I did, I felt like it needed like a frame around it. It needed something on it. So what I did is I cut and I used 2 dies together. So another thing that's great about your nesting dies is make them work for you. Make them work. You cut the centers out of stuff. That way you get more bang for your buck on your cardstocks and your paper. And I gotta find another piece of white paper. I might have to go get some more. What I did is I took that same circle that we had before, same circle, and then I took my scallop. So this is my baby scallop one. And this one, if you have the baby scallop, it is the second one in. Now this one doesn't have the stitching, but you can do whatever you want. This is the second one in. And what I did is I put them on here and I nest them. So you're just going to try to eyeball it and make sure they look like they're equal all the way around. We're just going to eyeball and we're going to cut them out. So something is great about your nesting dies is you can layer the same ones together. You can layer different ones together and you can make frames. Have you guys done that? Have you layered your dies? Layer your nesting dies. I always say, work smarter, not harder. And look at that. So now we've got this cute little frame that we made with 2 of our nesting dies. I guess if it's one of those items where they say you get stranded on the island and you can only have like 3 items or 2 items, I think my nesting dies would be one of them because you can get so much bang for your buck and do so much with them. Okay, now we're going to put foam tape on them. And guess who forgot to grab foam tape strips when she was at the store today? Yep. I forgot to grab them. So I'm just adding, to be quick, my little micro dots because these fit on here. But normally I would use my foam strips, those skinny strips that fit perfect on here. You could totally turn this into a shaker panel also. If you guys do that, I'd love to see it. Post it over in the Crafty Hour Creations group and share. We'd love to see what you're doing. So those guys, then we're going to pop it. Ooh, I am probably not going to make it to 3 cards. I did say this one was a little bit more intense though. This one was going to take a little bit more time. And I'm going to be a little slow on putting mine on because I got to peel all these eyes off. But if you guys are faster, go for it. Now, in the pack, you know, there's only 1 of each item in there. So I don't have another of all of these pieces. So how you're going to finish the card is I put the camera on there. I love the camera. I love their embellishments because it has a little bit of that glossy shine on them. And then I added the happy birthday sentiment. You could add a different sentiment. Add whatever sentiment you want. But that's how I finished the card off. And then I also added my bling. So I love to use those little pearls. And I just did a cluster of 3 here and a cluster of 3 there. peeling the back of these off to slow me down. And then that's card number 1. That is card number 1. I'm going to continue peeling because I'm not a quitter. They all up. Okay. Then we're just going to line that up. And we're just going to pop that little frame. And like I said, if you want to do a shaker card, that would make an awesome shaker card too. Okay, let me grab the embellishments that Deanna used, and maybe I can dress mine up that way. I got a cupcake. I'm gonna put a cupcake on there. So you guys are using the camera. I'm gonna use the cupcake because I already used my camera, and I know Deanna used the cupcake. So, and if you guys want more of these, they always have these pieces, more of them available. Now, when you put your pop dots on, make sure you don't put any pop dots behind here because it will glue your card shut, and you don't want to glue your card shut. So make sure you don't put any there. I am going to put a little bit of liquid glue to glue it to my frame. Just put a little liquid glue on there. And that puts it on the frame. And then I'm sure we have a happy birthday. Or actually, I put happy birthday on that one. Let's see what's left. What's left? Deanna used It's a Beautiful Day on her other one. So will It's a Beautiful Day fit on this one? Or should I chop the guy's head off like Deanna did? I gotta agree. I don't like the weird people and the weird busts and the weird things like that. I'm going to leave the sentiment off because maybe I want it to say something else. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to finish it up like that. Put your camera on, your happy birthday. I pop these and then put your bling on, and there's your card number 1. Here's a different version. And I will put probably a birthday sentiment on there also because there's tons of great sentiments in here. And you can always get more of these. There's always extras of these too. Okay, so that's card number 1. We are going to move on from that so we don't run out of time. Boy, look at that. I can make a heck of a mess in 33 minutes, can't I? Card number 2. So card number 2 is going to be a little interactive too. We're going to have a little flip there, little fold. Okay, little flip, little fold. Oops. Fold and then flip on card number 2. So let me grab my sloppy copy out. And we're going to start with the card base. So your card base is going to be a normal card base. Again, 8.5 by 5.5, we're going to score at 4 1/4. So that is an A2 card. A2 card. So we've got our 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. We're putting it in our trimmer sideways so it is wider than it is tall. And we are going to cut at 5.5. Okay, and then we're going to flip it and score at 4 1/4. Ooh, get up in your parking spot. 4 1/4. So all we've done is we've completed an A2 card base again. So both of them start with an A2 card base. Okay, there's my piece I had before that I cut my circle out of. So this is going to be my scrap. We need to cut a piece that is 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. This was just a standard card base, so it's already 5 1/2. So I'm going to put it in my trimmer sideways and cut it at 3 1/4. 3 1/4. Okay, so we have 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then we're going to flip it sideways, and we are going to score it at 1/2 inch, just 1/2 inch. Half an inch. And then we're just going to fold that down. Okay, so when I did this, you're going to open and you're going to open. I glued it down to the center piece. So if you want to put a piece of paper or put something on here, you can hide that by matting it. And then it's going to fold and fold. So what I did, and let me do it first so I can kind of show you the method to my madness. I put it on the outside of my card. So I have it kind of sitting on my card. Because if I go, let's say I go and glue this, and I just glue that right there, and then I go, and it's not glued down far enough, and I go to fold my card, it's not going to fold down because I don't have it up high enough. So the way to make sure it's high enough, hey, there's a random gold gem. I made a mess earlier with my gold gems, and now I'm finding them all over the place. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put adhesive right here along the top. Okay, so right along the top. So we're going to fold it like a mountain. Fold it like a mountain, and the adhesive is right here. Right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it over the front of my card, and I'm going to fold it over. I haven't stuck it. The sticky's right here where my fingers are. I'm going to hold it just like this. Okay, so it's folded over the top of my card, and then I'm just going to close my card down. Okay, and now I know that it's going to be in the correct spot to fold it over without it making a, it'll lay flat. It'll lay flat. Okay? Okay, in your homework, I had you cut bronze glitter paper. Bronze glitter paper. I had you cut a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's going to be the piece that's going to go right here on the front. Then I had you cut a 3 1/8 by 4 7/8. What I did is I gutted mine. So I took my nesting dies and I cut it out of the center. So that's where I ended up with this piece. I just gutted it. So you don't have to have a frame because this is going to be hidden. Remember, we're going to hide that. But that is how I got that piece that looks like a frame. I just used my nesting dies and I gutted the center of it out. So I had more glitter paper. I'm going to be honest. I was down to my last sheet of glitter paper and I didn't have enough to finish this card. And I'm like, ooh, I didn't glue that down yet. I will gut it out of the center. And I had exactly what I needed. So we're gluing that gold or bronze. Sorry, it's bronze on there. We're going to put our pattern paper on there. So that's going to hide that in a minute anyways. Your other piece that you had, we'll close that down. Your other piece that you had that was homework was 3 1/8 by 4 7/8. That's going on your little flipper. Okay. And I'm going to open it so I can see it easier of where I'm doing. So that's going to go on your flipper. Okay. Anybody else, when they use the little glue gun, do you want to go like pew, pew, pew? I feel like it needs like little laser beam sound effects when I use it. Pew, pew. Nope, just me. I'm the only crazy one here. Okay, so there are our two pieces. Okay, so now we're going to grab our pattern papers. I love this blue kind of plaid. I thought this was really pretty. This blue plaid. We're not going to use the other side. We're just using the blue side. and we're going to cut it 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we're going to put it in our trimmer so it is wider than it is tall. Wider than it is tall, so you can get 2 cards out of it. And we're going to cut it at 4 inches. Then we're going to flip it and do 5 1/4. So we're right here, 5 1/4. We're just kind of working our way down the list. Five and a fourth. And then that piece is going to get glued right there on top of that copper. And it's going to cover all that up. So you don't even know that we gutted the center of that out. And we're just going to put her right back on there so she has a little bit of glitter all the way around it. Just makes it sparkle. And I just realized I'm doing my cards in a different order. So this next piece was used with a scrap from my first piece. So we're going to have to make a scrap. We're just going to do it in a different order. So we're looking for this piece right here. And let's see, what did I use? I did it that way. Okay, this piece right here. This was my favorite piece. I love this piece. This one just kind of sang to me. I wanted to use it on every card, but I couldn't. I had to control myself. So this piece here, we're going to cut it 3 by 4 3/4. 3 by 4 3/4. Okay, so we got it at 3. So we have it wider than it is tall, and we're going to cut it at 3. And then we're going to flip it, and we're going to cut off this bottom part, cutting off that bottom. So we're going to cut it at 4 3/4. So it is basically right above that green strip, right above that green strip. And then we are going to put that right on top of that glitter paper. Okay, how are we doing? Are we doing good? See some thumbs up. Okay, we're doing good. All right, you hear me digging through the trash? Because I just realized, I had some brain farts on this one, that there is only one tag in this set, and I used the one tag. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to cut out a tag really quick. I'm going to make a tag. And I'm just using that trash piece. And I'm just using the yellow cardstock, so this is what you guys can do too if you need to make some more tags. Trace the negative. And I'm going to cut it out of yellow. You guys are just punching your yellow tag out of your embellishment pack. Just punch that out. I'm going to make one really quick. See, we're crafty. We can do this. She's crafty. Na, 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 na. Anybody ever watch that show? That show was entertaining. My husband even watched it once in a while. I won't tell you what episode he watched. Okay, there we go. There's my yellow tag. So you guys are going to have your yellow tag. And I told you to cut a piece of paper that was 2 5/8 by 3 3/4. So basically what you're going to do is you're just going to mat this on here, and then we're just going to eyeball it and trim it down. Okay? So you're using the tag from the kit. I'm just cutting one out. Got my hole punch. I'm just going to punch a hole in the top, because if you have a tag, you have to go that. Okay, and now we're just going to kind of clean it up. Uh-oh. Yeah, seam join. Okay, there's a tag. We're going to pop this, so we're going to put foam on the back side of that. Uh-oh, what was my secret, Frida? What was my secret? What did I do? Now I'm self-conscious. What did I do? What was my secret? My eyeballings? Okay, there we go. We're getting crafty. We're getting crafty. Yeah, you always, if you have a tag, you have to have a hole. Gotta have a hole for it. Okay, then we're going to bring it off a little bit. So we're just going to bring it off. But again, you want to make sure you don't put foam right here, because you want it to flip up and not glue it shut. Okay? Okay, you're going to grab your other half of the wreath. Remember, Deanna saved me half of the wreath? You're going to grab the other half of the wreath. And this might be where I get crafty, and maybe I use this head because that's what I got left. But you're going to grab your other half of your wreath. Oh, making tags. I was out of tags. I used all the one that was in my kit. So maybe I use the head here because that's what I have left. Yep, we're going to use a head. So what I did on that one, I put my boots down, my little rain boots. I thought they were adorable. I took my half and I cut it again. So I cut it in like a third and then a 2/3, and I tucked it under here and I tucked the other portion under there. I popped the keys and then I popped the sentiment. So this one, no head. Kelly says no head. I know, but I'm on spur of the moment and I need to finish the card. What do I put on here? A bicycle? Maybe we do the bicycle. Did Deanna use the bicycle? I think she did, so I can use it again. Off with its head. Oh, the bicycle will work. We're so using a bicycle instead. I'm going to use the bicycle. Gonna put some under the tires. You're putting your rain boots on. I'm gonna put a bicycle on. And then you have your other circle, and like I said, I cut it. So I tucked part of it here, and I tucked part of it there. I felt like we needed more florals. We really needed more florals to kind of tucky, right? And then... let's see, maybe we put these in here. Maybe we tuck it somewhere else. Kind of like it tucked back there. Seeing this fun? You get two different versions. I know a lot of you guys bought the extra topper pieces. So this will give you ideas of what to do with the extra topper pieces and give you other versions to play with. So there's that. We've got Feel Better Soon, Thinking of You, Congrats, Hello Spring. I kind of like the congrats. Hello Spring is yellow. That one might not show up. Nope. Ooh, Spring Smiles. Okay, there we go. Spring Smiles. And all these bows were really cute too. You could put a bow on the basket. You can put a bow on your bicycle. Lots of cute bows. So that'll be version 2. So there's version 1. You got your boots on there. I put the florals in between, behind it. I just tuckied them. I put a key and I popped it. That's all from your embellishments. And then these were my little bling. Again, I love the pink fresh gems. I used the gold ones on the first one. I used, what do they call these? They call them iridescent. I call them little oil slicks. They look like little oil slicks to me. That's what I did on that one. So it kind of just gives it, and then you could run some string or some twine out of the top of those. And that gives you that right there. Okay, so there's 2 different versions of the cards. Okay, last one. We will make it to the last one because the last one is a quick and easy. I wanted to do this and show you how quick and easy these papers are, that you don't have to do a whole lot to them. So what we're going to do is an A2 base. So just a white, I had in homework, just an A2 white card base. A2 white card base. Anybody know where mine went? Haha, right there. We already have one cut. That was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to score it. We're going to score it in half at 4 1/4. So 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. We're going to score it. And we just have a regular A2 card base. I had you as homework to cut a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of bronze glitter. And I already went and pre-cut my scallop because I thought I'd run out of time, and I did run out of time. So you're just going to gut it. And what I gutted it with on this time, and this one you're going to notice has a bigger white. I did a bigger white border on here and a smaller glitter border. So I kind of switched the borders up a little bit. I gutted the center of mine, and this time I used the baby scallops with the stitch, and I used the third one in. the third one in, which is actually different than what's on my sample. After I did my sample and I glued it down, I felt like that was too big. So I decided to go with a smaller scallop. And it was already cut and it was already glued down, so there was no going back. Okay, so this was in your homework to cut that bronze. It's just 4 by 5 1/4, and then I just gutted the center of it out. And I will give you the dimensions one sec on this one. So, and any of them work, but that one is 3 3 1/4. So basically it fits with just a little bit of color all the way around it. So these are two different versions. My first one, I had a big border on it, and then I felt like it was too big for that skinny border. So my second one, I'm going in with a skinnier border on that one. And then we have this piece from before, and this I just cut and left it. All I'm going to do is cut it to fit inside this frame, and this is how you make a quick, easy card. You don't have to cut all these apart. You don't have to do a lot of layering to them. You can literally just cut this pattern paper, because it's already done all the work for you, mat it on your glitter, and you're done. So this piece is going to be cut 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So a little bit trickier measurements. 3 7/8, because I did a fatter white edge. That's why it's different. Then we're going to flip it and we're going to cut off the top floral part, the top floral. And we're going to do it at 5 1/8. 5 1/8. Okay. And we're going to put that on, and it's going to have just a little bit of that bronze all the way around it. So I did a bigger white border than my other ones. My other ones, I do that little 1/16 of an inch. This one's like an 1/8 of an inch. So it's like double the size on the little borders. Okay, so we're going to glue that down. And see how quick and easy that makes a card? You don't have to do a lot to it. You just mat your paper and it's already layered. It already has the layers on there for you. It makes it quick and easy. Then we're going to pop this. We're going to pop your glitter frame. Minus the hair. Every card is made with love and a little DNA. And we're going to pop this on a little bit higher to the top than the bottom. We're going to shift it up. Oh, shift. Shift her up. And then you're going to put the little flower bouquet in the center. I think I'm going to use the cupcake because that's what I have left in mine. And it seems like I always need like birthday cards, so that'd be a good birthday. This would also be good kind of for Mother's Day. Okay, so we're going to glue that down to the center. Okay, got that. And then we're just going to add a sentiment to it, which I don't know if I have a birthday one yet. Let's see what I got left. Keep blooming, thinking of you. Oh, happy birthday to you. There is a birthday. Ooh, but maybe I want to use it for Mother's Day. So I'm going to put keep blooming. Keep blooming. And then we'll just pop that in the corner. And look at how quick and easy that was. That is literally a 5-minute card, if that, if even that. So that is what's great about these little 6x8 paper pads that come with this. It does a lot of the work for you guys. You can make them as easy or as complicated as you want. Not really complicated, but more layered. Okay, keep blooming. And then I added, maybe I add a little bow to that because yes, there's a bow laying here. Why not? Okay, on your guys's, I did put the little blue bow and I put the little sentiment on there. I'm going to do the cupcakes. And I'm going to add a little bow to that because why not? How cute. And then the last thing I did was I added my 3 little bling. I always like to do 3 bling. I always like to put it in the opposite corners so it kind of carries your eye across your card on that. And see what difference a big border versus a small one makes. It just, switching up the size of your borders. I like them both. I don't know. Maybe I like the bigger one. I like them both. They're both cute on there. So different versions on different things. So thank you everybody so much for tuning in with me and enjoying Crafty Hour. And I hope you guys are crafting along. If not, catching us on replay. And don't forget to post your creations over in our private Facebook group called Crafty Hour Creations, so we can see what you created with the kit and with all those extra bonus pieces that are part of it. Tomorrow, Crafty Hour 64, we've already created the event reminder. We'll go live tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Pacific on our websites. We will have the live. Make sure to watch. We will put the links for registration in the comment section, and registration will open. It is going to be a fantabulous Crafty Hour. The die alone in it is an amazing value. It's one that Deanna and I looked at. We brought back from the vault, and then we're like, I like it, but we need to change it. So we changed it to make it our own sizes, so you will not find this die anywhere else. It is exclusive to us and to the Crafty Hour kit. So I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we do. Tune in tomorrow for the live reveal, and we'll see you guys then. Thank you so much, and have a great night. Bye-bye.